folks, I'm going to just pick up the video here today at the AI part. If you want to know a little bit more about the backstory, you can pick that up on the post. But I am going to go straight into Gemini. As I mentioned here, we're going to be working from an invoice that was created in Google Sheets. And so I thought Google Gemini would probably have some pretty good insight into Google Sheets. So I am going to go over there, and as usual, I've got my prompt already set up. So I'm going to copy and paste it, and I'll just talk about it as we paste it. I'm actually, let's repeat that. It will read it from there, but so if you just go straight into copy and paste it, it'll post a picture, but I prefer just to drop the plain text in there. So revising that there, but what I'm basically kind of letting Gemini know all of the basic context of what I'm trying to do. So I've said, hey, I've got an invoice over there in my Google Sheet. Can you help me set it up so I can generate an email directly from the email? Also wanted to set up an additional tab that tracks the invoice that was sent, when it was sent, and to whom, and when it is due. So I am going to go ahead and send out all that over. And this is a link to that Google document. I've just captured the basic sharing link there. But what I wanted to try to do initially was to get it to go into the document itself and see what it can do. But at least this will give it visibility to it. I'll talk about what actually happens here a little bit later. So I'm going to click submit. And of course, it is going to tell us, as I kind of just alluded to there a little bit, that it can't directly modify our sheet for us, but it can give us the script for what we need to do. And it goes through all the steps, as I need to go out to my Google Sheet and open up AppScript and then put in this code below, which I'm going to copy now before we go all the way down. And it is telling us how we need to save it into the project itself, close the script editor, and then, there will be a new option that will appear in our tab, and it will allow us to draft the invoice mails from there. Then I asked it about creating that other sheet. Again, I was trying to initially see if it will go in there and do it for me directly in the sheet. Of course, Gemini is not in, this is not set up as an agent that has given access to all of my stuff. So it's just kind of telling me how to do that. So some of this I have already done. So I went and created that recipient list that it was talking about, and that gave me the information on which columns to use and etc. And I have a tracker tab as well. So what you need to do is go into your extensions, and then you will click on AppScript. And from there, it is pretty easy. I'm going to leave this is the actual one I created, but just for illustration purposes, I'm going to show how you would do this here. So you would click and add file and script. We can actually leave that unnamed for now, but I'm going to go back there just to show you how it shows up blank. I'm going to delete everything that's in there and then copy and paste that script in there. And then what we would do at this point is just click the save button to save the project to the drive. Now, what I am going to do actually, because this is for illustration purposes. I want to go through kind of like how do you get it to give you the script that you want. I didn't have all of my requirements ironed out at first, so I had to iterate on this a little bit, and this wasn't the final code. I pull up that final code here in a second, but I wanted to show that all that I really needed to do in order to continue to iterate from this point was to keep going back to the chat and ask it for things, and make sure that it knows to include the previous code, and it will just help you just update it, and you'll be able to copy and paste it back in there. So for example, let's say I want to modify the code to include the recipient name, and I'm gonna do that again. So I want to include recipient name from the recipient list on the tracker, right? So I will ask it that question. it's going to think about it a little bit more, and then it's just going to produce some new code for you, which you can copy from there. And let's just say we went back here. You'll notice this code is a little bit longer. I'm going to delete that again and come back here, paste